I think our weatherman might be knocking on the door.
Absolutely.
Good
Good morning, sir.
morning.
Good morning.
John, you're doing an amazing job. Like Adam
Oh,
who?
you're
Adam
sweet.
who?
Yeah,
I
Adam,
don't
you're
know.
who?
sweet.
Let's hope he doesn't
I
hear
Pause
that
is
didn't
one.
replaced.
I
I,
did not
Let's
know
say something
Adam was
AI.
into bears too. I'm quite surprised by that.
oh, not me. Uh, Serge, what do you have for us this morning?
All right, let's jump into HR weather because I have a hot take. So here's my hot take. Talent acquisition departments must stop entertaining or even actioning direct reach outs from candidates on LinkedIn or email. I know career coaches have been encouraging this practice for a long time, and I'm not going to blame job seekers at all. You got to do what you got to do, and what works, works. But if this happens, talent acquisition departments must encourage their hiring managers to advise the job seekers on the proper process and guide them that way. Because what we're seeing is depleted talent acquisition teams, and they're facing almost nearly impossible challenges. So, first of all, they have a larger amount of open roles. They have higher than normal application volume. And the feedback that I'm getting from talent acquisition managers out there is they have never seen so many unqualified candidates apply for their jobs. So if you bypass the process, it causes some challenges. Like it's an inconsistent candidate experience. It causes coordination issues, and it definitely increases the potential for bias. So there's a process for a reason. When the process breaks down, all the pieces of the puzzle fall apart, and this causes a negative candidate experience, more ghosting. So all I'm going to say for candidates, do what you got to do, right? But for talent acquisition teams, don't let the exception become the rule because it causes so many challenges. What's your take on the desk here? How are you guys feeling about that?
No, Joel, you have to have an initial take on that for sure.
Yeah.
My take. I love what you said, Serge. Look, from a candidate perspective, you got to do whatever the hell you got
Yeah.
to do to land a job, and
Yeah.
it's just the truth. Like if it means you got to call, reach out to people, go meet people, if that's gonna create employment for you, go for it. I think the challenge comes in, like you said, it's the advice that is out there. It's always nuanced. There's no
Yeah.
100% way to do it every single time. Even going back to my internship, like that story, I DM'd a bunch of people in the department. Now,
Yeah.
does that mean now that that's the way we get internships? That's a universal way of how you do it? No. So I think you just got to be careful. Like if you land a job, putting your experience out there is one thing, but making it a rule for everybody to do the same thing is completely different. And that's what we see a lot of times, unfortunately, with career coaches. They'll say, "Well, this is the prescribed way that you have to apply to a job, or have to do things." So my thought is, like you said, Serge, do what you need to do as a candidate. But I think if we're giving out advice, just be careful what advice we're giving out. And like, it's hard. You can't just make rules that aren't really rules. So that's my thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think in a world where talent acquisition departments are struggling, and there's a reason why you would create process, and there's a reason why many talent acquisition departments are struggling so much. They don't have a process, they break it, they listen to the hiring manager that wants to take a candidate that they know, not run them through the process. And I really do think it's causing the major issues that we're seeing with candidate experience.
It's a
But
good
you
point.
also have talent acquisition specialists in-house that are um, compensated most through placement. And
Yeah.
so there is a desperation, right? In
Yeah.
trying to, like, I got to get people and put them in place, and I don't really care because just stay 3 months or 6 months and I won't lose my bonus or I won't lose my override. That's a reality in terms of the comp structure as well, and adds
So,
to the pressure.
John, are you saying that internal talent acquisition departments have incentives like that? I rarely seen that. I've seen it a couple of times, but is that
Oh
something
my
you're seeing?
goodness, the bonus structures? Oh, yes. I just
Interesting.
did one for a very large company. And so, yes. Yeah, because if you're internal and you think as a leadership, we're not finding the right people. We're not
Yeah.
finding quality people. I'll incentivize my talent acquisition folks in order to be able to spur them on to find these people we need. The best way to do that is with cash.
Hmm.
Is it incenting the right behaviors?
Oh, probably not. Cash very rarely does. So yeah, I doubt it.
Good point.
What's your take, Danielle?
Yeah, I think from like a candidate perspective to Joel's point, there's a lot of different ways to make yourself stand out as a candidate for a job. And I think, you know, people have to be getting more creative. Reaching out to hiring managers is one way, but another way is just to showcase, your thought leadership on on social media, and
Yeah.
to invest your time in side projects, and to really invest in your personal brand. So I think there's a lot of ways to get people's attention. Networking, I mean, like, let's talk about the traditional ways of how how you get a job and how you build a career, before just kind of leaning on, let's reach out to the hiring manager and fill
Yeah.
their inbox. So I feel like, as from a job seeker standpoint, the best way to get a job is the way that people aren't talking about.
100% agree. I think there's so many ways, and I love that you're mentioning just thought leadership, being out there, because as you're going through resumes and you see someone that you've seen on LinkedIn or you've seen their content, definitely gives you a leg up. So that's my take for the weather. Enjoy the show, guys. Good job. You're doing amazing.
Bye, Serge.
Bye, Serge.